Hello, and welcome to the Piper Report. So, I was going to do this video on my computer, do a screen capture monologue, but I'm going to use my phone instead because I still don't have my webcam or microphone on me. This video is in regards to Jimmy Kimmel, and he recently did an interview with Amy Robach from, I think, ABC. And some of the stuff he said in there, it needs to be addressed, so I'm going to address it here, but first things first, he essentially called Trump and Hannity gay. He said Trump and Hannity have a date night, essentially, and the implication was that they are so in love with each other that nothing can really affect them, blah, blah, blah. And Jimmy Kimmel's being Jimmy Kimmel, trying to stay relevant and trying to spew his own ideology and his own rhetoric. But one of the things he said in particular definitely needs to be addressed, and he said he used the term gun nuts in a derogatory way, saying these gun nuts so and so and so. Well, guess what, Jimmy Kimmel? I am a gun nut. But that's not all. I am a free speech nut. I am a due process nut. I am a states' right nut. I am a right to speedy trial nut. I am a no unreasonable search or seizure nut. Do you see where I'm going with this? I am a nut for the Bill of Rights, because that is our constitutional, protected rights and liberties. And you should be too. You should be too. Everyone should be a gun nut. Everyone should be a free speech nut. That is how important those aspects are in our civilization. Without those, we are not free. Without those, we do not have liberty. I know what many people are thinking. Many people are thinking, yeah, but the Second Amendment, free speech doesn't kill people like the Second Amendment does. The Second Amendment has killed thousands of people. Just look how bad it is. Guns are dangerous, blah, blah, blah. And maybe that's true to some degree. But does that make the other amendments any less important? Does that make them any less significant? I think the answer is no. You may look at guns as being dangerous. You may look at that amendment as leading to death. But you can also look at amendments like due process and say that and believe that they are even more important. You can look at amendments like no unreasonable search or seizures and see that that is more important than guns. Think about that. What would happen? Sorry, my computer fan's going off. Try to silence it there. What would happen if all of a sudden cops could just come up to you and search you automatically? You had no rights anymore. Search you, if they find something on you, they arrest you. And you can't do anything about it in court. You can't do anything about it. Even though your Fourth Amendment right was denied, there was nothing you can do about it. That is important. Likewise, the Fifth Amendment. What if you had to speak no matter what? You could never just remain silent. And if you did remain silent, you could be arrested for a crime. Do you see where I'm going here? Just because First, Third, and through the 10th Amendments don't deal with guns, that doesn't mean they're any less important. And the same thing can be construed when discussing the Second Amendment. It is important that our amendments, our Bill of Rights, remain in place. It is important that we all self-identify as gun nuts, as free speech nuts. Because if we don't have our Bill of Rights, we don't have liberty. We don't have freedom. And our military soldiers and those in the past, everyone, past, present, and future, have died or will die to give us our rights and liberties. So Jimmy Kimmel, you are a piece of shit. Saying these gun nuts over here, yeah, everyone should be a gun nut. Everyone should be a free speech nut. Everyone should be a due process nut. And one more thing I kind of want to discuss here. Jimmy Kimmel is acting like the moral arbiter in America, the conscience of America, and he says that he never fought for that title, that he never wanted that title. And you know what? It's true. He never actually fought for that title, but the media gave him that title, and his inclination was to go right with it. So whether he likes it or not, he can say that he never wanted to be the moral arbiter of America, the voice of reason, the conscience of America. When that title was bestowed upon him, he picked up that mantle and he ran with it. And he ran with it. And the thing about Jimmy Kimmel is his political proclivities do lean left. However, his monologues, a lot of their talking points he gets from Chuck Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader. Chuck Schumer. So he can pretend, Jimmy Kimmel can pretend that he is a comedy show. But when it comes down to it, he is a pawn. He is a pawn for the Democratic Party, just like Stephen Colbert, for their bosses. And their bosses worship people like Chuck Schumer. They worship the Democratic establishment, the most corrupt establishment there is. And yes, I am not defending the Republican establishment. Republicans are corrupt too. But the regressive media and the Democratic establishment is on another level. And he is using their talking points to help promote their political ideology. And he's doing it under the guise of comedy. And then he says, he has the gall to say that those who don't agree with his warped sense of humanity are gun nuts. He has the gall to say that Trump and Hannity are gay. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel is literally garbage. I mean, he is literally garbage. And he did this twice. Jimmy Kimmel did this twice. First he talked about his son, his child, his baby, getting sick. And if it wasn't for Obamacare, his child would die. Which is just blatantly false. Because you know what? There is a law that if you go to an emergency room, you will be treated no matter what. I guarantee you, not one of you, if you walk to the emergency room right now, if you drove there, not one person will be kicked out. Not one person will be told they can't come here. You go to the ER, you will be treated. So he tried to make it seem like Obamacare saved his child's life. And it's not true. I'm glad his child is sick. Even though Jimmy Kimmel is a piece of crap, his child is innocent. And his child should not have to suffer any attacks, any aspersions against him. But Jimmy Kimmel using his child as a pawn for Chuck Schumer and the Democratic establishment is about as low as you can go. It makes him filth. It makes him garbage. It makes him willing to use his child, his own flesh and blood, willing to use him to spread a political ideology. How disgusting is that? And yet, people want to look at him like the moral arbiter of America. People want to look at him as someone who is good and kind, who is benevolent. It's a joke. Jimmy Kimmel is a joke. So, yes, Jimmy Kimmel, I am a gun nut. I'm a free speech nut. I am a Bill of Rights nut. I am our constitutional protected rights and liberties nut. Because that is all we have in this world. Without that, we don't have freedom. We don't have liberty. So, your denigration of those who support the Second Amendment only delineates your own warped viewpoint. It only elaborates and only describes your own sick and twisted world perspective that anyone who disagrees with you is inhumane, or is gay in this case with Donald Trump and Sean Hannity, is wrong. Anyone who supports the Second Amendment are just gun nuts. Jimmy Kimmel, you are a disgusting piece of filth. And I'm done.